We're back here for episode 1 of season 3. Just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Road to Rio.
Not quite road to Rio yet.
Yeah.
Nationals first.
Nationals
and Oceanias first. So, yeah, we're back. It's been a bit since we've done this, so I'm sure we'll be a little bit rusty with everything today, but it'll come back to us pretty quick. It's been, when did we film last September? So it's been, 4-5 months since we've kind of done anything like this, and I think we've had a bit of a break and different paths to get to this point here since we last raced and we had the last of the discussion. So where have you been lately and what have you been up to?
Yeah, I mean, I've really missed you, mate. We've both, over the last 4 or 5 months, we've both been away doing our own thing and training harder, but with our own respective things. You've been training externally in the gym, and I've been here at Waste and out at the track. So things have been tracking really nicely, and it's been a really good opportunity to kind of have training bubbling away in the background, making progress, but kind of also being able to focus on some other areas of life as well, which has been nice to kind of find that balance, because leading into Paris and major games, everything was so 100% optimized for performance in Paris that you kind of lose the balance completely. But it's been nice to kind of come back and try and find that balance again, and then hopefully try and maintain that through the season and see what we can do with that little bit of a balance there as well, because things have been going pretty well for me on the bike in terms of power numbers. I've been hitting some really good PBs, and I'm actually feeling really strong in the gym as well, even though I've had a couple of niggles in the body that have been popping up. And I don't know, maybe it's to do with kind of mentally being a little bit more refreshed and allowing myself that balance in life as well as the sport. So things have been tracking really nicely, and I'm really looking forward to kind of getting back into the next phase. Where have you been at, man?
Yeah, I think like you said, just having a bit of downtime and recovery as well to kind of let the body heal, but also just not have that same pressure to train like we did leading to Paris. That's why maybe, and even just in potentially where you're at with the journey too, is you're still on that upwards trajectory that you're finding new stepping stones, new 100%. Like you're hitting a ceiling, then breaking through, then finding a new level, which leading into Paris was, a lot and very stressful. Whereas now there's not that same kind of pressure as we're kind of preparing for some racing coming up with Oceanias in 2 weeks' time, and then Nationals at the end of March. It's not that same kind of pressure where you can kind of just come in here and still train hard and still perform well, but it's not that sense of I have to do this, I have to hit these numbers. It's just come here, do the work that's required, go home, recover, come back and repeat. And you're adding in new exercises in the gym and kind of re-bringing things in, and just that refreshed mindset I think really, really helps. Yeah, I mean, I think pre-Paris we were constantly trying to achieve and constantly trying to peak in every single competition that we were in leading up to it, whereas now we've had a really good opportunity to start to build a really strong foundation, and I think that's already starting to pay dividends for me, which is really exciting. And it's only really early stages as well. We've only really been back training for 3 months, and to see the results that I have in a short amount of time is super exciting, and it kind of makes me look forward and go, what can we do in the next bit if I'm already kind of above and beyond where I was a couple of weeks before Paris. So yeah, it's game time. Definitely is. And I think it's exciting too. And like we were just saying before, is that we both have had different, not necessarily different journeys, but we've both had different, lives look different for us since we've kind of finished Paris for the last little bit. And that's kind of what we both individually needed and wanted in that period of time, to then come back together at this point and then start heading in the same direction. So for me, it was very much when we got home, I stepped away from a lot of things after Paris just because I wanted to, and I needed that. I wanted to step away from this high performance environment, the waste environment here. I absolutely love it, but to me, this is optimized for performance, and I come here to train, to hit numbers, to hit targets. Whereas I did go to a public gym for the first time in basically my whole career, my whole life, just to go there and just have fun with training. I'd go in, no structure, no plan, no nothing, just go in, work out, exercise. The only goal that I had was to get a pump and then leave, go home, come back, and I was working full time as well, kind of just trying to build the bank account a little bit. And also something that I've mentioned to a few people too is like I don't mind the work that I do, but I also don't like it too. So I wanted to go back to do something that I dislike doing to some extent, so then I can come back into an environment like this, recharged and motivated to do it, because this is something that I do love. And like, you've been back training pretty early, like since like October-ish.
Something like that, yeah.
I literally didn't get on the bike until the start of the year. So I hadn't touched the bike since Paris, effectively. So my first track session was the start of the year. And I remember coming back, driving out to the track and kind of just having those thoughts on my head of like what's potentially coming up and some things that we're working towards. But I had those feelings of like, well, I'm actually excited. And to me, that was a really good sign, whereas I probably had lost a little of that after Paris because of the build up, not only of that itself, but literally the last 10, 15 years kind of getting to that point. It was like I needed not to find that again, but like I needed to just step away, recharge, and then coming back into that, I was like, yeah, I'm actually excited. And, you know, obviously get back to training. The last time we rode the bike together, we're in like peak physical condition. And the first time you come back, you're like not even close. You're comparing your old self to where you currently are, but also understanding that comes from time that, you know, that you kind of keep chipping away and it will start to head back in that direction over the last few weeks. It's like it's just slowly been coming back. And we had our first proper like session on the tandem yesterday. We've done a couple of sessions, but then yesterday was our first proper one, and kind of, you know, it was again progressing in that direction pretty well. And then we'll do a bit more over the next few weeks leading into Oshis and then onto the rest of the season. And yeah, I think it's exciting to kind of get back into it, and it'd be good to get some racing in as well. Get back in that environment, see everybody else, see the other athletes that are coming up through the system, and just kind of be in that race environment, which is why we do what we do, why we train, why we prepare for competitions, is that you get to be around people performing at their best. And there's something I really enjoy about that. And I think coming into this point now where there isn't pressure on us really, other than anything that we put on ourselves, we can literally just go and have fun. And sometimes when that is the approach and mindset, you can surprise yourself sometimes. And I think, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we rode something quite quick at Oceanias. And even though the expectations are quite low on my end, doesn't mean that we're still not wanting to perform well, but when I don't have that same pressure myself, like we need to hit times, we need to do this. And I think that's because of the work we have done, we've afforded ourselves the opportunity to be in this position where we can take a longer term approach. And as you mentioned before, road to Rio, that's the ultimate goal is, I guess, World Championships later in the year, which we can discuss and touch on as well. But I think that's just where I feel sitting right now with everything as well.
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like the break that you had in coming back from Paris was an opportunity to kind of rest, recharge, but to go and do something quite challenging as well, which is working as much as what you did. And it sounds like that's kind of giving you the perspective and the fire to kind of come back and go, what do I really want to do? And after doing something really challenging, like working in the heat that we've had over the last couple of months, as much as what you had done, it sounds like it's kind of giving you that fire again.
Yeah, it has. Like it is giving me the fire, but it's also I just needed time away, because I've spent so much time in this environment, and like I said, I do enjoy it and I do love it, but it's kind of, you get used to it a lot, and it kind of becomes normal that you walk in and you can see Olympic champions and Olympic and Paralympic representatives. It's like it's normal, whereas sometimes for me it was I just wanted to do something a bit different, just to kind of get myself a different perspective, what it would look like on the other side, I guess, if I was to stop riding.
It's a really good time to kind of transition back into that environment with the way that the squad's going here with the cycling team, and watching all of our teammates progressing towards Oshis and Nationals, and having a big group out at the track, all building towards the major competition for them for the year. It's kind of a really exciting time to be coming back into it. And I think that for me, it's given me a lift as well back into our training as well, seeing so much high performance happening around us too. So that's kind of been really cool as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's been really good. The squad's definitely quite big. At the moment, there's a lot of people out at the track, which is exciting. Everybody's kind of building towards competitions, which again I think is a good time to kind of come back into it, because if it's the middle of winter and it'll literally be just the four of us, or like a few of us at track, cold weather, it's kind of a little bit grim. But like right now, there's a big squad of juniors, us seniors, everybody preparing for Oceanias and the national championships. It does have that feel of like, this is something special to kind of come back into, and it is a very exciting time for just the program in general, the sport in general here in WA. And it's really good. It's really exciting just to see where it's going and to be a part of it too. And like, I've seen this program from many iterations just from my years of actually having ridden and being a part of it. But it's definitely getting back to that point of like where it was several years ago, where I'd say it was like the peak of the program in terms of like just athletes and numbers and morale and camaraderie and all those kinds of things. It's definitely heading back in that direction. It's exciting. It's very, very good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to just seeing what everyone else in the squad can do as well as what we can do too. And yeah, it's just fun. That's at the end of the day, it's why we do it. It's because it's fun. And yeah. I think that's something I really want to try and channel a lot of over at least the next little bit, to kind of just get back that, not that necessarily I've lost the enjoyment, but just have fun. Like there's still pressure to perform, but first and foremost, if you're having fun in the process of doing it, that's going to make the process itself better, more manageable and easier to kind of push through any of those difficult and challenging days, which will inevitably rise. Because then there is always a time to optimize. But as I said, that's because we've done that work. We're in a position now where we can just follow the process. And I think upon reflecting of our journey since, say, leading into Nationals in 2023, I think the reason we did have a lot of success and did the time we did at Nationals, which eventually was the time that did qualify us, was because we were enjoying the training. We had a good training group, a good training squad, people that believe in us, we believe in ourselves. And most importantly, I think we were having fun doing it, which led to the results. Then continuing on to Worlds as well after that Nationals, we were still heading in that direction. And then as we've discussed in previous videos as well, it's almost like when we crashed at Worlds, it kind of like put a hard stop and a reset. And we kind of had to refine that throughout the whole entire prep into Paris. And I think that did take a big toll on both of us and me as well, just from like an emotional point and just a mental load as well, that I did need that big hard reset and separation to kind of then be able to come back into it. But we performed in spite of that. And now it's like, okay, if we can do that and now continue that momentum that I think we were building leading into Worlds, it's like, hey, now what are we capable of doing? What can we do in this next few competitions where it's not, again, not massive pressure, but we still want to do well. And then it's like, okay, we're getting back in, we're getting in the rhythm, and then we prep leading into Worlds. It's like, okay, now what can we actually do? When things always come up, we always have challenges, but I think when we have that consistency and we keep that consistency going with just the enjoyment side of things, I think that's when we'll do some very good things. And I think that's an underlying thing that I have anyway, that there's still stuff I know we're capable of doing, and that's definitely what I reckon we're aiming towards.
And I mean, that's where kind of my excitement lies as well, because there was so much pressure on us leading into Paris. And it's like, in spite of all that, we were still able to go out there perform. And for me, that was just a big tick in the box of self-belief for me. And that's what's given me the confidence and levels of excitement that I have moving forward, because I constantly like capture myself thinking when I'm feeling like moments of loss of self-belief or moments of fear or moments of anxiety, which is still present within the sport because of the nature of what we're doing up on the track. I think like I was feeling 10 times worse before Paris and we still performed. So if we can perform then, I can perform now. And I find myself like thinking like that quite regularly in my head, is going, if I can do it there, I can do it anywhere. I can do it in a training session. I can do it at States. I can do it at Oceania's, Nationals. Like Paris was probably one of the biggest races of my whole career, and we still managed to perform in spite of all the challenges that we had. So I find myself regularly capturing that thought when heading up into even just regular training sessions. So I'm really excited for what's to come, and also like the things that we learn along that journey as well. This isn't my second run through a season now. Like I kind of know what to expect through Oceanias and Nationals, and I feel like I'm not just wandering aimlessly through this sport now and through this cycling career. I actually feel like there's a plan, and I can see the steps that kind of lead us to where we need to be. And I think that that's kind of really exciting as well, as I push through that barrier of those early stages of the career where you're still kind of finding your feet and still learning everything. And I can see the trajectory of the upcoming competitions, and I'm just really keen to crack on. Yeah,
very good. So I guess we're into season 3 now, which will be up until probably Nationals, and then we'll have a little bit of a break and reset, and then season 4 will be a long build into World Championships, hopefully, again pending selection and all those kinds of things. So I guess for the interim and the short term, like where's your head at? What's your objectives and goals you want to try to get out of this next few bits, and like what is the experience you're expecting over the next like month and so, or 2 months till nationals, in terms of performance and trajectory and those kinds of things?
I don't know,
Outcomes.
For me, it's like we don't get a lot of opportunities to race because of our events. We might only race 2 or 3 times in the whole year. So I'm actually just really looking forward to getting across there and just gaining some more experience points with racing in general. The last time we raced was September 1, like the biggest race of probably my whole career. And here we are, like, we're moving into February. So
yeah,
I'm just looking forward to getting across there and gaining some more XP points, running through processes of everything in the environment. And then the same again at nationals. I guess like there's not a ridiculous amount of pressure on us to be at our absolute best through these competitions, but we still will be giving it our all, and we still will be running through all of those processes, and it's just building more and more experience. And I know what positive impact that experience has had on me, as I was just saying, in terms of what I can see moving forward and the trajectory that I can see leading towards next competitions, that if I can gain some more of those feelings through the next couple of months of just experience, then that's only going to set me up really well for when we do head in towards some more major competitions, whether it's Worlds or Commies or whatever it might be that's coming up in the next couple of years. I'm all for it. So
yeah, that's good.
And where are you at, mate? What are your kind of not performance expectations, but expectations for the next couple of months in terms of what you're looking to gain from it?
Yeah, as I was saying before, I think just having fun, just enjoying everything that we're doing, because it is a privilege, and like it's an earned, like we've earned the right to be here and do what we do. But also this isn't forever, and it won't be forever. And I think I've kind of realized that it's a special time in what we're doing right now in our lives, and it will always be a special time. So actually just really enjoying being present, and it's like I've had a few ideas I've been thinking of and playing with in my mind, which I'll hash out a bit more in the future, I think. But for me, it's more just about just enjoyment, just getting back in those racing environments, being around our friends and teammates and all those like situations and scenarios, and seeing other people perform, and just being around that high performance. Was something I said when we got to Worlds last year. Was like I felt like I belonged here, and that's what I think I get when I get to those races. I feel like this is where I want to be. And yes, there's perspectives you can still get that if you're a coach or a support staff member, but being an actual athlete being the athlete in the arena is only for a short period of time. And I think it's really just enjoying that and continuing to build upon what we did leading into Paris, without having that pressure of like, not necessarily the performance side of things, but more just the pressure that we had on ourselves because of the struggles that we faced in terms of just confidence on the bike and steering, and just feeling comfortable with the track and whatever else we were facing, that inevitably made the prep very hard, which was always going to be a challenge regardless of whatever we faced previous or prior to that. I think now there's not as many setbacks and hurdles in way that we can kind of just go through the processes. And for me, it's just doing that, enjoying it. And I think that's where we will see a lot of growth and performance and results, that when we come back, have a bit of a reset after nationals, then we go, okay, now to Worlds is business time, but we can incorporate that side of us having fun with previous things that we've discussed in terms of momentum, and carrying that momentum and the snowball effect and all those kinds of things. That sets us up really well for that period where we do need to be pushing and being locked in and all those kinds, and like just where we need to be the definition of like a high performing athlete, whereas we still are now, but it's a little bit, to me, it's a little bit more relaxed, because again, we've done the work, we've earned the right to be in this position that we can prepare for something far bigger. And as opposed to like, we need to hit times at Oceanias, we need to hit times at at nationals, because if that was the case, then I would have had to been training back in October, and we would have been peaking and stuff. And it's like, that's when it gets challenging, where it's like, okay, no, you've actually done everything that's required. You've earned the right, just have fun, just enjoy everything. And I think that's where we'll see success. And I know that we're still capable of far, like a lot more than what we did in Paris. And, we've now got a chance where the sprint is an event at Com Games as well, so we can kind of target that area too. And for me, getting a little bit of exposure on the single bike leading into nationals would be good, just from like my own goals that I have and would like to achieve. And I think if we can go sub 10, or if I can go sub 10 on both bikes, would be a massive just a massive personal goal for me and for the both of us as well in the tandem as well. That'd be pretty special to cross the line and see a 9 on the board, and that's probably just the things I'm kind of like thinking about at this point as well. But again, like I'm not saying like we have to do it, but it's like if I enjoy the process and just enjoy doing the training, I believe that will be the outcome that will happen.
Yeah.
And as we've discussed, we're probably carrying a bit more momentum in the flying too, so we should be okay.
The inertia.
A bit of inertia.
Even if we blow up at the 100.
Yeah. Far more inertia than Paris. But yeah, no, it'd be good. That's where I'm kind of at with everything at the moment too. And then it would be like, I guess the fire in the belly would be lit probably post nationals when it's okay. Now it's like road to Rio or redemption because of the last time we raced there. Obviously ended in a crash, which not the way which we had intended. And as much as Brazil is a long journey in terms of time, just traveling there as well, and it's still a long period of time away until it's there. I think there'd be something poetic in the fact that we get to go back a year and a bit later and actually get justice or get what we deserved the first time around. So I think there's something quite special in that too, which would in itself provide a lot of motivation, which then also excites me too, leading into the future.
Yeah, I mean, the universe sends us these challenges in these moments. I remember leaving Rio and wondering whether I'd ever be back there again, and then
I didn't want to go back.
Here we are a year later, so it's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, but no, it's good.
Yeah.
Very good. So yeah, I think that probably catches where we're at the moment, unless there's anything else you want to...
No, I think we're just going to continue capturing the snapshots in time every week when we get in front of the microphone, in front of the camera, showcase some of the training that we're going to be doing over the next little bit as well. We'll continue to show some track scenes and gym scenes as well.
And ergs or whatever else. And I think we'll get a little bit more polished with our dialogue as well. I feel a little bit rusty.
I thought we were pretty good, to be fair.
Not bad. I feel rusty, but yeah, we're not too bad.
Let us know in the comments if we're waffling too much, or if there's anything you want to hear us talk about, or whatever. Just hit us up. So always open to feedback, and if there's anything we want to chat about or anything you want to see within the training that we're doing as well, just let us know.
So, no, very good. All right. Well, thank you. And season 3 has begun. Episode 1 is complete, and we'll see you next week for track.
Ripper. Sounds great. See you then.
Cool.